Maharishi Ayurveda is a wonderful ancient tradition of health. And when we come to the theme of tonight's talk, you are what you digest, it immediately draws your attention to the emphasis on digestion. Now, the most ancient tradition of knowledge on earth is the Vedic tradition. The word Veda actually means knowledge. And Ayurveda was the health science in this ancient knowledge. And within this whole stream of wisdom, going back through the ages, the concept of agni was predominating. Now, agni means transformation. So, the whole concept of life as an ongoing process of transformation is just an interesting aspect within this Vedic tradition, because the Vedic tradition recognizes that everything is always changing, and also recognizes that there is a non-changing source. So the Vedic tradition, therefore, is describing the all change from a basis of non-change. And this concept, therefore, of agni is carried through to the science of Ayurveda. And agni in Ayurveda is the processes of transformation within you, which is basically your digestion. You're digesting everything. You're digesting every experience, every thought, every emotion, every nutrient, every breath. You're taking all of this and you're constantly digesting it. And the outcome of all that you have digested is your own body, mind. So this concept, therefore, of digestion is far greater than what you think is going on in your stomach. And so we have to approach this whole concept of digestion from an Ayurvedic point of view in a very expanded state of mind. So basically, if your digestion is working, you're healthy, and if there's anything wrong with your digestion, well, your health is failing. There's another concept within the Vedic tradition, and this concept is a process of knowing and knower and what you know. So there's a tripod at the basis of life. This tripod is you, is everything that you know, and it's what connects you with everything you know, the process of now. So this is carried through in relation to Ayurveda as you and your food, what you're digesting, and all the processes of digesting. So I'm going to structure this talk around those three, around the concepts of digestion. I'm going to start with what's familiar and talk about the foods, and then talk about all the processes of digestion. We'll go through those throughout the talk, and talk about you, the one who's actually doing the digesting. But before I go into that, I want to introduce the concept of consciousness, that silent presence, that awareness that lies at the deepest level of your being, the one who has your thoughts. And I'd like to introduce that by saying that we have come in our modern scientific objective sciences to begin to recognize that life gets increasingly more integrated at deeper levels of insight, even to the point where quantum physics is now seeing one fundamental field which perhaps gives rise to the fundamental forces and particles that structure the whole universe. So there's one underlying unified field being the source of all objective creation. And it is interesting that within those quantum physics concepts are 5 fundamental spin types, which function together in 3 modes of bosons, fermions, and egg symmetry. And that's very interesting because Ayurveda, for many, many thousands of years, maintained that there was one underlying field at the basis of the whole universe. And the only difference in this concept between quantum physics was that Ayurveda described this field as the basis of everything in the universe, not just everything objective. So in other words, it's the basis not just of your body and the particles that make up your physical presence, but also as the basis and the essence and the fundamental which becomes the thoughts in your mind. And it's the basis of both our subjective existence and our objective existence, and that this field at the basis of the whole universe is called consciousness. And consciousness, according to Ayurveda, it projects itself. It projects itself in each one of us. We're projecting ourselves as consciousness, but it does so through 5 fundamental modes or 5 fundamental streams. Consciousness knows itself, and you know yourself, and you know everything that you know through 5 fundamental channels, which of course are your 5 senses. Because if you couldn't see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, the universe would cease to exist for you. Even your own thoughts could no longer be heard, nor your feelings felt, nor your insights perceived, because it's through the senses we have every experience. And so the Ayurvedic unfoldment of life from the bottom up, consciousness expressing itself in 5 streams, precipitates as 5 fundamental elements. In Ayurvedic terminology, the Akasha, Vayu, Tejas, Apas, Prithvi. But in English we say space, air, fire, water, and earth. And these 5 elements were described, as one quantum physicist's theory went, as the 5 spin particles. And in Ayurveda, these subsequently interact as 3 fundamental dynamics in our mind bodies: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Very interesting correlations. But I wanted to introduce that concept because I think it'll give more wholesomeness, more concept of Ayurvedic's view of health, which is wholeness, as we go through the talk.